The NFL trade deadline is coming up on November 2nd, and the 3-3 Minnesota Fighting Vikings, the best 3-3 team in NFL history, absolutely should be buyers as they look to keep Skull alive in the NFC. And a position of need this season has been cornerback for a number of reasons. Even though Zimmer is a cornerback whisperer, Patrick Peterson has been phenomenal, but he's injured as well as older. Can come back week 11. So, Bashad Breeland has been playing like Johnson. Although, all right, so Breeland got a favorable PFF grade because the Panthers receivers dropped the ball. Okay. Dantzler's been biting his tongue, has all the potential in the world, but has been up and down when he's gotten an opportunity. Mack has been solid in the slot in his return. Boyd has been hurt, and 38 Special has been COVID-y and hurt. So the Vikings do have cornerback depth issues, and it's going to be a tough stretch coming up for the Vikings on the schedule. And if the Vikes are going to trade for anyone, it should be a cornerback, and they should go big. The Vikings should trade for Dolphins cornerback Xavien Howard. That's right. That's right. I said it. The Dolphins are 1-5. They've gone absolutely tits up, and they just lost to Urban Meyer in London. How embarrassing is that? Like, you lose to the Jaguars in another country. That's rough. And the Dolphins are a sinking ship. They made a huge mistake to give up their own first-round pick to the Eagles to move back up to take Jalen Waddle as opposed to sending the Niners first-rounder. They're reportedly loading back up to make a move for Deshaun Watson. And Spielman is not afraid of taking big-ass swings. The Sam Bradford trade before the 2016 season, signing Kirk Cousins before 2018, as well as the freaking Ngakoue trade, and then the subsequent giving up on the Yannick trade, which was a smart business decision, by the way. So now is the time. Now is the time to go after it. Let's talk about Xavien Howard today. Background: 28 years young, 6'1", 203. Was a 2016 second-round pick by the Dolphins out of Baylor. Two-time Pro Bowler, 2020 first-team All-Pro. Was second-team All-Pro in 2018. Has led the league in interceptions twice. 23 career picks. 61 passes broken up in 6 seasons. Last year he was PFF's number 2 cornerback in overall grade and coverage grades at 87.3 and 89.6 respectively. And this year he has struggled a little bit, but I think that's way more because the Dolphins defense has been hot garbage as opposed to him having a dip in form. But here in Minnesota, he'll have an elite pass rush. He's got Kendricks in front of him, as well as Harrison Smith and Xavier Woods behind him. Woo! Perfect setup, man. And Xavien Howard is the best man-to-man cornerback in the National Football League, and he's firmly in his prime at 28. What's not to like? Money-wise, he's due $7.813 million on his prorated base salary. That's what the Vikings would have to take onto their salary cap this season, but only $6.775 million of his 2022 base salary is fully guaranteed. One of the big reasons why he postured and wanted a trade earlier in camp, which makes him a very retradable asset in case it doesn't work out this season. The Vikings currently have around $3.8 million in space per over the cap, but a restructure of Kendrick's deal or others could free up the needed space if the Vikings are truly all in this season. Also, the Vikings could ink up Howard to a new deal that alleviates some pressure because so what would you give up? I will give up Stephen Weatherly, but the Dolphins, since they're in full tank mode, apparently they're not going to want players. They want draft picks, especially if they're back in on Deshaun to take the sting out of having to give away multiple firsts to Houston to get him in all likelihood. So I would give up a first round pick, and I know people will complain about that. It's like, why give up a first round pick? Well, ideally, if this works out, it will be a late first round pick, probably 32. No big deal, right? And the Dolphins, why would the Dolphins only take 1 first-round pick? They got to hold out for 2 or 3, just like Jalen Ramsey. They're not going to get that. The Dolphins don't have a ton of leverage because Xavien Howard has already made noise that he wants out. They've already appeased him once, and I don't think it's going to happen again absent a new contract with the Dolphins can't give him because they're running out of money as well. He's got a big contract. He wants out anyway. Trade now and get the cap savings on this season as opposed to eating his contract this year, then moving him in the offseason for perhaps pennies on the dollar. It's very similar to Washington and Trent Williams. They should have just taken peak value when they had it as opposed to trying to play tough even though they had to lose a battle and were losing leverage, right? So if you're going to be all in, go all in. I would give up that first round pick for Xavien Howard. And if it doesn't work out and if the Vikings don't want to extend him long term, they could easily flip him in the offseason and they can get some decent value there. Probably recoup that first round pick and even more. So I say go for it, man. I say F it. Like, hey, I appreciate effort, especially in the front office. And I know as of right now, the Vikings don't want to make any big moves. They're probably not going to be sellers at the deadline either. And I don't know if the Vikings would find a market for their depth players anyway. But let's go, man. Let's go. Because that cornerback room, even though it's deep on paper, it ain't holding together. Breeland easily could revert back to his early season form. Dancer is still TBD, even though he's got potential. Patrick Peterson, even when he gets back, is he going to be the Patrick Peterson that we saw earlier in the year? No. If you have the opportunity right now, go out and get Xavien Howard. Who's going to say no? Besides maybe the Dolphins, and who knows? But your thoughts on our thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Venmo, Demanis. Until next time, Skull, production value.